Thank you, sir. Thank you. The next speaker is Syed Zafar Alam. Zafar Islam. Sorry.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। फिर से मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी दिया हमारी पार्टी के लीडरशिप और आपका दोनों का धन्यवाद करता हूं। मैं यहां खड़ा हूं फाइनेंस बिल और अप्रोप्रिएशन बिल के समर्थन में। आज मैं खड़ा हूं बोलने के लिए सर जब हम बात करते हैं बजट के बारे में, मैं कई लोगों को सुन रहा था। आई हर्ड मेनी स्पीकर्स, many of our colleagues who are very learned members, they have spoken about budget, they have given their opinion. बट एक चीज़ बहुत कॉमन देखा सर, मैं बड़े अफसोस के साथ कह रहा हूँ कि सब ने इसको बजट एक्सरसाइज को के जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है और जिस बैकड्रॉप पे बजट को बनाया जाता है उसके बारे में चिंता किसी ने नहीं की। देखिए बजट एक्सरसाइज जो इस तरह से सरकार ने किया, सरकार की कोई इंटेंशन होती है, किस सर्कमस्टांसेस में जो है वो बजट बनाया गया है और उसका क्या इंटेंशंस है। आप पिछले 7 सालों में देखिए सर, और ख़ासकर पिछले 2 सालों में जब FY 20 का जब बजट पेश किया गया था और उसके बाद जो FY 21 का नंबर देखिए और FY 22 का नंबर देखिए, तब समझ में आएगा कि बजट जो है सरकार बनाती है एक अजम्पशंस को लेकर बनाती है सर। लेकिन सरकार का जो कंपैशनेट अप्रोच हमारी सरकार का है और जो बेसिक प्रिंसिपल आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा है और जो उन्होंने दिखाया है, डेमोन्स्ट्रेट किया है कि he will not do things beyond his means and he will never punch above his weights. What does that mean, sir? It means कि सरकार के पास जितने आइडेंटिफाइड रेवेन्यूज है, रिसोर्सेज है, उसका प्रॉपरली एलोकेशन करना चाहिए और एप्रोप्रिएटली एलोकेशन, जब रिसोर्सेज एलोकेशन होंगे तो उसका मकसद क्या है सर? वेलफेयर ऑफ द स्टेट, जो हमारी सरकार कर रही है। उसके साथ साथ टू सेफगार्ड द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द कंट्री, वो हमारी सरकार कर रही है। पिछले 7 सालों में जिस तरह से देश दुनिया के नज़रों में उभर कर आया है सर, जिस तरह से हमारी इकोनॉमी तेजी से दौड़ रही है, आज मुझे अफसोस के साथ कहना पड़ रहा है कि कभी कहा था कैनेडी ने, एक बार कहा था कि वेयर विनर्स हैव मेनी फादर्स बट लूजर्स हैव नन, ही इज एन ऑर्फन। आज मुझे ऐसे ही लगता है, जब देश की इकोनॉमी पूरे दुनिया में जगमगा रही है, लोग देख रहे हैं कि इंडिया इज ए शाइनिंग ब्राइट स्पॉट अमंग ऑल द इमर्जिंग इकोनॉमीज, तब दुनिया वाहवाही कर रही है। लेकिन अफसोस की बात है, देश में इसके बारे में क्रिटिसिज्म चल रहा है। जबकि लोगों ने, मुझे अच्छा लगा प्रफुल्ल पटेल जी ने कहा कि 2 सालों में, पिछले 2 सालों में जिस तरह से, जिस बैकड्रॉप पे, जिस सिचुएशन में हम कोविड के सिचुएशन में इस बजट को पेश किया और एक बजट को नहीं पेश किया सर। हमने देखना चाहिए कि ये सीक्वेंस है। हमने आत्मनिर्भर पैकेज को पेश किया सर, आत्मनिर्भर पैकेज एक नहीं अनेक आत्मनिर्भर पैकेजेस को हमने पेश किया है। 2020 के मार्च के बाद जब हमने लॉकडाउन लगाया, वो अनप्रेसिडेंटेड सिचुएशन थी। उस वक्त वी वर लिविंग इन टाइम्स ऑफ अनसर्टेनिटी सर। उस वक्त हमने बजट पेश किया और उस बजट को आज जब देखते हैं, आत्मनिर्भर पैकेज 1, 2, 3, 4 एंड देन फॉलोड बाय सेवरल बजट्स, तब मुझे लगता है कि हाँ, इस देश में 2 आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री की जो सोच थी, आत्मनिर्भर बनाना है, देश को आत्मनिर्भर बनाना है, और उसके लिए पॉलिसी इनिशिएटिव उन्होंने ली, जो आज के इस बजट पे दिखता है, पिछले बजट में दिखता है, आत्मनिर्भर पैकेजेस जो दिए उसमें दिखता है। लेकिन अफसोस की बात है कि लोग जो है क्रिटिसिज्म करने से पहले उस चीज़ पर ध्यान नहीं देते। देखिए, किसी ने कहा था सर, और आज मुझे लगता है कि आज अगर आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के बारे में ऐसा मैं कहूँ, आदरणीय फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर के बारे में कहूँ तो गलत नहीं होगा कि वाइज मैन इज वन हु इज एबल टू सी डार्कनेस इन द लाइट और हु कैन सी लाइट इन द डार्कनेस। मतलब क्या सर? अगर कोई ऐसी बुरी चीज़ हो रही है, अंधेरा दिख रहा है, जगमगाती दुनिया में अंधेरा दिख रहा है, वो स्पॉट अंधेरा देख सकता है, वही अक्लमंद आदमी है, इसलिए पॉलिसी इनिशिएटिव लेता है। लोग कहते थे अमेरिका ने इतना बड़ा पैसा बांट दिया, हम क्या कर रहे हैं, कंजम्पशन नहीं बढ़ रहा है, हाँ तो लोगों को पैसा बांटो। आज देखिए अमेरिका में क्या हो रहा है। आप देखिए यूनाइटेड किंगडम ने बोला तो पैसा बांट दो सब जगह। हमने क्या किया सर? हमने कल्याणकारी योजनाएं निकाली सर, वेलफेयर स्कीम, लोगों को राशन पहुंचाया जिसकी जरूरत थी। हमने डीबीटी ट्रांसफर भी किया है, ऐसा नहीं है, हमने डीबीटी ट्रांसफर भी किया है। हमने बहुत सारे ऐसे इनिशिएटिव लिए हैं जिससे वेलफेयर ऑफ द स्टेट, जो लोग आम नागरिक को मजबूत करने का काम किया है। लेकिन हमने किसी और को फॉलो नहीं किया, इसलिए कि हमारा एक प्रिंसिपल था, नेवर पंच अबव योर वेट। जितनी हमारी सलाहियत है देश को उसी सलाहियत पे रखना है और उस आगे बढ़ना है, उस ताकत को मल्टीप्लायर इफेक्ट देना है। इसलिए प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को फोकस दिया। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के मतलब जाहिर है मल्टीप्लायर इफेक्ट लेके आती है। अगर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में 1 रुपया इन्वेस्ट करते हैं सर, तो जाहिर है वो 1 रुपया नहीं रहता है नेशनल जीडीपी में। जब वो नेशनल जीडीपी में जाता है तो 1 रुपया अगर रेलवे करते हैं तो विद बैकवर्ड इंटीग्रेशन एंड फॉरवर्ड इंटीग्रेशन वो होके 5, 6, 7 रुपए तक का नेशनल जीडीपी में कंट्रीब्यूशन देता है। रोड में उसी तरह से है। और आप देखिए जिस तरह से एलोकेशन, जो बजटरी एलोकेशन रोड में हुआ, रेल में हुआ, जिस तरह से आइडेंटिफाई किया है, जब हमने इतने सारे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट के 100 लाख करोड़ से ऊपर का, और जिस तरह से हमने गति शक्ति का जो एक पूरा रूप दिया है, उससे आप समझ में आता है कि हमारी कोशिश है इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को बढ़ावा दें, हमारी कोशिश है कि लॉजिस्टिक को हम प्रायोरिटी दें, ताकि हम जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में जो हमारा फोकस है कि इंडिया को एक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब बनाना है, उसमें हम कामयाब हो पाएंगे। आप जरा पॉलिसी इनिशिएटिव को देखिए ना सर। मैं तो कहता हूं कि लोगों से आके देखना चाहिए कि सरकार ने कैसे इनिशिएटिव लिए। बहुत सारे ऐसे लोगों ने रिपोर्ट्स बनाए हैं। आई थिंक मैं लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, अपने लर्नड मेंबर्स से और अपने कॉलीग्स से यहाँ पर, कि उन सब रिपोर्ट्स का कभी कभी पढ़ लेना बुरा नहीं है सर। उनको पढ़ने से शायद थोड़ा सरकार के काम को और देश की जो शक्ति बढ़ रही है उसके बारे में अंदाजा भी होता है। आई थिंक देयर आर मेनी सच इनिशिएटिव, स्मॉल इनिशिएटिव व्हिच हैज बीन अंडरटेकन बाय द गवर्नमेंट is now bearing the fruits. We have also taken various structural reforms, which is also now giving us the desired outcome. Look, we were talking about GST. Everybody was criticizing about GST. Not GST, the outcome, everybody is talking about it. Now, but consistently we are getting 1.3 trillion rupees every month after month after month. Why? Because we have gone through the pain when we had to do these structural reforms. We knew that there will be some slowdown. People will criticize us, because when you undertake structural reforms, it slows down the economy a little bit. It did, and we are not afraid of that, because we know what we are doing. We're doing for the good for the country, in the interest of the country, and that is what we did. And the result is for everyone to see. It is for everyone to see that there is a GST collection of 1.3 lakh. 3 trillion rupees per month, and it's going on a month-to-month basis. Secondly, what is important, sir? We had set a target of that we will have target of export of $400 billion. I must compliment the government. I must compliment the concerned minister for achieving this target on 20th of March. It is not an easy achievement, because given the global situation and circumstances we are operating currently, it is indeed a very good achievement, because we had set a very stiff target for us. $400 billion is a very good outcome, sir, and I am sure that given the initiative which the government is taking, given the priorities which we have set in for our government and for the growth of exports, we will certainly will go much higher number in the future. सर, आप देखिए, लोग कंपेयर करते हैं हमारी सरकार के बारे में, हमारे बजट के बारे में क्रिटिसाइज करते हैं। मैं तो कहता हूं भाई, मैंने लोगों को सुना, जरा सा 2000 आप जरा यूपीए के टाइम में देख लीजिए, चाहे हेल्थ सेक्टर पे देख लीजिए, चाहे आप इस पे देख लीजिए कि किस तरह से हमारा एलोकेशन है, एजुकेशन सेक्टर पे देख लीजिए, आप देख लीजिए कि जरा रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे देख लीजिए, रूरल सेक्टर पे देख लीजिए, आप जरा देखिए तो सर। मैं कहता हूं 1.6 ट्रिलियन रुपीस अगर हम खर्च कर रहे हैं हेल्थ सेक्टर पे, आप सारे हेड्स को मिला लीजिए, आप देखिए कि ये कितना बड़ा है, 4 times of what it was in 2014. Because we are extremely sensitive and sincere about people of this great country. We want their welfare. We understand that's our priority, that's our responsibility, but we cannot ignore the interests of our country, because we have to ensure that we should stand on our leg, and very firmly, and that is why it is important for us to take some tough calls, tough measures, and that's what we have done, and we will continue to do that. We will take reform measures time and again, because it is important not for us, it is important for our country. Today, our country is viewed very differently. Despite the Ukraine crisis, despite the Ukraine war, everybody, we had faced similar kind of situation in 2008, when we had a global crisis, economic crisis. What we had done at that time, we had given our bank standing order to give loan to everyone. Don't evaluate Why? Do not do proper credit evaluation process. Do not follow that. As a result, what happened? Inflation was in double digit. There was a debt curse. I think everybody should read that report. Honorable Finance Minister, former Finance Minister is here. I would request that he must also read that report, which has been not published by us or of any of the member of this House, but it was published by an independent agency, Credit Suisse. And that suggests that at that point in time, when we were distributing loan free without proper doing due diligence, we were not even worrying about the collateral. And as a result, what happened? Since 1947 to 2006, our loan book of nationalized bank was 18 lakh. Suddenly it ballooned to 52 lakh. Why, sir? What happened? We were giving loan without doing proper due diligence. As a result, we had NPA. We have suffered. The country suffered. We suffered. As a responsible government, we didn't make hue and cry. What we did, under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister, that we have to set it right. We have capitalized the bank. We ensured that banks are healthy and they are able to lend again. And we have also come up with many legislation to ensure that recovery is done. And we have recovered money. And with this new legislation in place, we are able to recover those money. We are also able to, credit growth is now so visible. On a month-to-month basis, credit is growing. Despite the fact where we have Ukraine crisis, despite the fact there is still threat looming on our head. Now, sometimes second wave, sometimes Omicron, sometimes Korea, something is being, people talk about some other virus, some other infection. We have seen everything, we are seeing everything. Yet, the vaccination efforts of the government is being talked about across the globe, unlike in the country, where people still, despite what we have achieved, is unachievable for many people, for many countries. Yet, people are still criticizing. We are feeling safe. You are feeling safe. Everybody is feeling safe because of the government's initiative. What we have to do? We have to criticize the government. Put government in the dock. We are not afraid of putting us in the dock. But also you have to evaluate your own performance. What was the size of the GDP in 2014? What is the size of the GDP now? What was where were we in 2014 and where are we now in terms of our standing in the global economy? See the landscape, global landscape, and where we stand today. We are ahead of United Kingdom. We are very close to, we are almost on a neck to neck with Japan. We are knocking the door of other Germany. We will be, by 2030, we'll see, we'll be third largest economy and the biggest market in the world. Because we have our strength and we are capitalizing our strength. This government feels that our strength needs to be capitalized for the welfare of the people and for the betterment of the country. Not for a particular family, not particular community, but for society as a whole. And that is what the budget is. And that is what budget is meant for us. And people are talking about we have not done that, we have not giving subsidy, we are not reduced the subsidy. Sir, I would like to bring the attention of every single member of this House that when we present the budget is presented, it is only a budget. And when the government is compassionate like us, our government, then we see the revised estimate you need to see. And then you see the final allocation, what has been made. We have when the poor needed, the marginalized section of the society needed support, it is us, we have supported it. Didn't we open our offer for them? Okay, we did. Despite the fact that there was no revenue during the lockdown, there was no economic activity, government was struggling for resources. Yet, what we did, we prioritized that our people are our strength. They are our strength. We must protect them. What we did, we provided them ration, free ration. We provided every possible support what they were expecting from the government. And it's so visible today that people feel that there's a government of the day who will always stand by them despite whatever the situation, because At the end of the day, it is our responsibility, and we will not shy away from our responsibility under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister. We have demonstrated not once, time and again, we'll continue to demonstrate that we will, for our country, for the betterment for our people, for the welfare of our people, we will not shy away from taking any tough decision, any tough measures. And so it is visible from the budget which is being presented, sir. Sir, people are talking about, I heard one of the members was speaking about retrospective tax. Who had introduced this retrospective tax? It is this government which has put to bed all this speculative approach which the earlier government had. It is this government. People are happy. There is a stability. There is a simplicity of our tax structure. People feel comfortable. People feel, yes, this is the place to invest. That's why our FDI is going up and up every time. And we are growing. FDI is growing because they feel comfortable. They feel that there is a government of the day, and there is a initiative of the government and the leadership of the state, which lends a lot of comfort and confidence to global investors. And that's why global investors are putting a lot of money here, and they will continue to put money. Last week I was traveling abroad, sir, and even though it is not warranted to speak here, but I feel I'm tempted to speak because there were parliamentarians from 200 other countries in an assembly where I was attending, and I was speaking there. I felt so proud, sir. I felt really so proud, and I must compliment the government and the leadership of this government. That everybody, despite Ukraine crisis, people were talking on one side of Ukraine crisis. The other side, they were saying India is in a very strong position. India is a very good, a very commanding position. India, they were always talking about the strength of India, and that has lent a lot of confidence even in me, a new parliamentarian. Barely a year ago, I have been a member of this House. But that shows that what initiative government of India has taken in the last 7 years, which actually make every citizen of this great country feel proud and confident, comfortable and secure, because the government feels the government's initiative is such that we do not leave anyone. We will never leave anyone. Those who need support from the government, we will empower them. We will hold their hand, empower them. And that is what the Honorable Prime Minister has done. That is what the Honorable Finance Minister has done when she presented this budget. Just see the numbers. I'm not even talking about the numbers, sir. But somebody was talking about debt to GDP. Somebody was talking about tax to the GDP. Are we better than what we had projected, what we had presented last year? Did we not go beyond our own expectations? Are we not growing? I mean, it is for us to see that country is growing, the economy is growing, the tax collection is growing, the certainty of tax collection is so visible now. It is so evident because of the initiative which has taken. Yes, I can still understand, and I have spoken many times on this, and many people have spoken. There are many people who understand economy and will understand that when you do difficult and back-to-back structural reforms, it slows down. And when the global economy is also compressing, that yes, your Indian economy is not in isolation, is operating in isolation. It will be impacted. So was the situation before 2020. But today, we are in a very robust position. The economy is firing all cylinders, sir. The initiative which has been undertaken by the government is giving fruits to the country. And all the numbers which you will see only will lend you confidence, because if you just see all the numbers, like for instance, e-way bill, the PMI, e-way bill is growing on a month-to-month basis. The PMI, again, it's in expansionary mode. It is consistently beyond 50, and it is not only beyond 50, 53, 54, both on services side as well as manufacturing. And again, government intention is that we want to make India as a hub for manufacturing, and that is what the initiative they have taken, that those who have China +1 policy will definitely engage India and put their money and their, they will have set up here in India as well and export from here. Lot of initiative government has taken. Some have been announced, will be announced. But the trajectory is absolutely clear. The decision process should be seen in continuity, not in isolation. This is not a process of extrapolation of one number every year, the way people speak here. I feel only that they're expecting that government should extrapolate the number which has been precedent earlier. That's not the approach. That should not be the approach. Because government has responsibility. Government has responsibility not to only one section of the society or one particular segment. Government has responsibility for the entirety. And when sometimes they have to give here, prioritize here, next time they have to prioritize here. So it cannot be extrapolated. When Garib Kalyan Yojana has to be introduced, you have to higher allocation for subsidy. And it is evident from the number when they will withdraw, then it will come off. But when again they have extended yesterday, then of course the allocation will be more than what has been presented in the budget. It is so simple for everyone to understand before criticize the government. The intent is very important for us to understand, sir, intent. It is so evident, anybody who will evaluate or analyze the budgetary approach of our government, they will see the honorable former former finance minister sitting here last time when he was speaking about the budget, he criticized about unemployment. And I must tell him, the number we had picked up was a weekly number, not the monthly number, and I would request him, what he had presented and what it was two different numbers. And it was very important for all of us to understand what number is being presented, whether the House is being misled or whether the number is not actually being presented the way it should have been presented. Because if you take a particular number, slice it the way you want to slice, of course it will give a different perspective, different color. But if you follow the methodology which everyone is following, then you will get the number, desired result which everybody will get, and it will be uniformity for you and even for you to evaluate. And I think the day it was presented, I can always request them to go back and see CMEI number on a monthly and a month basis, and we have, prior to pre-COVID, what the unemployment rate was, we have gone much better than. Our consumption level has gone up. Unemployment rate has come off. The saving rate has gone up. The demand is going up. The salaries are going up. Every numbers are giving a lot of confidence. Power consumption, demand has gone up. Fuel demand has gone up. So what are you? The economy is filing cylinders, all cylinders. What exactly you expect from the budget? Budget is to ensure the policy initiative of the government at that point of time, whatever it requires, that should propel the economy and safeguard the interests of the people. And that is what is happening. The economy is firing all cylinders. People are happy. We are winning election after election. Why? Because the common man on the street feels comfortable. They feel there is a government, there is a leadership of the government who will empower them, hold their hand and empower them. So they feel much more comfortable. Sir, I would request them that all the macroeconomic parameters on evaluate our performance on all macroeconomic parameters. You will get to know how our government is faring, how our government has performed. Of course, I would say there are people who will say that you just keep spending money, but the basic principles which the Honorable Prime Minister has followed, and that is the wisest decision. I would say that is the wisest decision he has taken, that never spend beyond your means, because that will keep you in good state. And yet the road of fiscal consolidation is being actively followed by the Honorable Finance Minister. Where it is so evident the way fiscal deficit has come off, the roadmap is very clear and transparent approach, unlike in the previous regime, where they were so opaque that everything you cannot take it in your fiscal deficit calculation. But today I can say with conviction, and so the street, not only me, so the street would say that, yes, there is no opaqueness, there is a clarity, and everything is loud and clear what comes into the fiscal deficit number, and the deficit is known to everyone, and the fiscal consolidation, the roadmap is so evident for everyone to see. And it all, I think I must compliment the Honorable Finance Minister for being so clear, so transparent, that she lends confidence and comfort to every global investors. And that's why the portfolio investment is growing, FDI is growing, GDP is growing, FDI is growing, the export is growing. What else? Credit growth is growing. And even though our focus yet, that one cylinder we still not has really fired to its potential, is the private investment. The government has taken initiative, burden on the shoulder of the government, that yes, they will make all the commitment which needs to ensure that the economy is booming. So 7.5 trillion rupees has been committed, all-time large, 18 years, highest in 18 years in terms of percentage of GDP.
Please wind up now.
2.9% of the GDP which has been allocated, budgetary allocation for...
Party has 4 more speakers.
Yes, sir, but I'm concluding, sir. For 2.9% of GDP is huge, it's the highest in 18 years. Why? Because the government feels that that it is, if we start investing, spending money, they not only support the economy, but it will also give confidence to private investors, and they will also start investing together with us. And it is slowly seen, because the credit growth number also suggests that private investment is coming back slowly. Secondly, sir, last thing I will say, tax collection to GDP is 10.9%, as against our budgeted number for 2020 FY22 was 9.9%. That only shows the meticulous exercise which is being done by the Finance Minister and under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister is for everyone to see. And today, I must not only strengthen our hand and the hand of the Honorable Prime Minister by supporting this, all our colleagues will support, but also take this opportunity to compliment for presenting a wonderful budget. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Zafar Islam. The next speaker is